Hello, welcome again to another screencast tutorial of Autodesk Maya. Today we'll be focusing on extruding. So, if you got to understand a little bit of Maya's interface, basically here's your tools that you can use. Also, rule of thumb, know your shortcut keys. W being the translate tool, E being the rotate, and R being the scale tool. Knowing the interface helps you along the way of working with and managing your models. Again, to move around all this, you make sure you press Alt, left mouse button to rotate, Alt, right mouse button to zoom, and Alt, middle mouse button or scroll button to track. So keep that in mind. You could also zoom in by using the scroll button, just scrolling in and out. Other than that, let's move on to extrusion. So basically what you do, make sure you have a polygon primitive cube. When it comes to extruding, what you're doing is adding on another subdivision using either faces or edges. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the face to extrude. So as you remember, there are several settings for your polygon primitive, and you could actually modify or even isolate a certain specific part. Excuse me. So what you're going to do is hold the right mouse button until this little settings menu pops up. You're going to drag down the pick whip and select face. Now you'll notice that your box is going to be pretty much turned into light blue. And every time you hover, you're going to see red. So when you see red, that means that's the face that you're hovering to select. When you select it, it turns green. Anyways, once you already have this set up, there is multiple ways you could actually extrude. One of them being going to Edit Mesh and Extrude. The second way is to press Control E. When you press Control E or go to Edit Mesh and Extrude, what it does, you'll see a universal manipulator activate. Right here you have your set controls, and you'll see this little power button. What it does, it flips the switch and resets the point of origin where it needs to be facing. Recommended that you always do it every time you try to extrude. So when you extrude, you pull back here. Now, keep in mind this universal manipulator has all three settings, both the translation, rotation, and even scale. So you could move, adjust, and everything else in between. So if you want to select the rotation, you see that little line right here. Click on that circle line to activate that universal manipulator. If you want to select the translation, make sure you select the arrows. Every time you hover onto them, they turn yellow. Same thing with the scale. Select the boxes on the top of the arrows to scale in or outwards. So you could isolate a selection to pretty much scale it inwards. So when you're done, if you want to extrude again, instead of having to press Control E or going to Edit Mesh and Extrude, there's also another way you could do this. All you have to do is press the G key, and automatically it will pretty much do the last action. So if you see right here, what it does, it shows you last tool used, and basically the last tool we used was the extrusion tool. So pretty much you could do that here and there, press the G key again. It works until you actually activate another tool. So keep that in mind. But that pretty much covers it for today's screencast tutorial of Autodesk Maya. Thank you.